Hello, this is Stephen Whitfield with Drilling Contractor, and I'm here at IADC's headquarters in Houston, Texas. Now, as I stand here, the United States is currently going through its primary season for the midterm elections that will be happening later on in November. And as part of that primary season, IADC's Political Action Committee Drillers Pack hosted various candidates for various Texas congressional seats. They got a chance to meet with IADC members, talk about their backgrounds, their histories, why they're running, their thoughts on oil and gas, and some of the things that they want to do should they be elected to Congress. Now, we were able to grab 3 of those candidates to speak with us and to you at large about themselves and what they think about oil and gas, so check it out. So we're here with Deddrick Wilmer, who is running for District 8 in Texas. He just spoke here at the candidate forum. We're going to get his thoughts on a few things here today. So Deddrick, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Stephen. Thanks for having me today.
So obviously there's a crowd out there watching us on video. Some of them might know who you are, some of them might not know who you are. So for those who don't know who you are, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Stephen, I want to thank you. Thank you for IADC for having us today. Just want to let you know I am running for the 8th Congressional District, which encompasses West Harris, half of Montgomery, 45, west of 45 in Montgomery County, and a sliver of Walker County and all of Waller. So it serves a very, very strong, diverse, area of the Houston Metroplex. Currently, I serve in Harris County Mud District 248. I'm the only elected member and official that's actually running in this race. I've been endorsed by the Houston Chronicle as well. And we are running a great race, but we ran a race for the people and by the people. In order to love the people, you have to serve the people. In order to serve the people, you have to love the people. And with me, I'm a 25-year resident of Houston, migrated from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. As I relocated from Atlanta, Georgia, and I relocated at one of the Houston worst weather events was Tropical Storm Allison. It was a May Day back in 2001, okay? And that's what brought me here. And I've been serving here. I'm a president of a mortgage bank here. And of course, currently elected. And I have one son. He lives in New York City. He's an economist on Wall Street. And living a great, great, great life here in Houston. I love this city well.
So at the forum here, you called yourself an Exxon boy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
a guy who has the experience with this industry.
Yes, sir.
So obviously this was put on by Drillers Pack, IADC's Political Action Committee. So there are a bunch of people out there who want to know, when we're talking to candidates, what do they see about this particular industry, oil and gas, the value that it brings to this country and maybe to the world at large. So how do you see this industry fitting in with everything?
It goes back to home. I'm born and raised in Baton Rouge. My father retired from ExxonMobil. Was Exxon first before it became ExxonMobil. It emerged back in the 90s. And, being an Exxon kid, growing up, it was a community that Baton Rouge had where you had middle class. Everybody was middle class in Baton Rouge because you had a lot of folks who was employed by Exxon, which they had the refinery, the plastic plant, and as well as the chemical plant. So you had 3 plants in Baton Rouge. And of course, you had other competing plants and all the contract jobs. But also, too, not even talking about that, is all the individuals who work onshore and offshore. In South Louisiana, all along I-10, if you graduated from high school and you had some basic skills, there was a very good chance that you had an opportunity to work on oil rigs in the Gulf. And this is why I'm very passionate about, this association, and passionate about this industry, because I would not be who I am today if it wasn't for oil and gas. And the problem that I have, the public, and it started back in the 80s with Greenpeace, with the activist groups and, going against oil and gas and all that. And the industry, which they have improved over the years to do a great job to explain people, the cell phone you have in your hand right now comes from oil and gas. And realize that the essentials, this chair that I'm sitting on, comes from the fossil fuels that is drilled. Okay, and a lot of times that we get the reputation that's out there, it needs to be, of course, spin it out to say, hey, these are things that we need. Now, over the years, is that the technology, the advancement, and this is when the federal government comes in. This is my responsibility to come in, is to provide the necessary funding, to our universities. In this district, we have Prairie View University in Prairie View, Texas, that's in Waller County, and we have Sam Houston State that is in Huntsville in Walker County. And this is opportunity we can make them an energy grant institution. Most of them are land, sea, and space, but we're going to say the energy grant. Whereas that we can train, provide opportunities for technology advancement, of research, and opportunity where we can take the bill and give to these universities for you all to advance. And that is the opportunity for you all.
So you talked about sort of working with universities. Mm-hmm. If you were to be elected into Congress, what are your sort of wish list, your top things that you're looking at in terms of ways that you could help this industry thrive?
Man, it's the regulatory engagement. I run a financial institution, and I can deal with all the regulatory. I deal with state, federal, and sometimes local in the states that I serve. You all go through the same dynamic. The deal is the fact that the federal government has to be modernized. A lot of these regulatory engagement comes from non-subject matter experts whom go to some research institution that tells them what the rules are, but they don't come to and ask industry partners how this is going to affect, number one, your operations, how it's going to affect your processes, and how it's going to affect your bottom line. Okay, and those are the three things that sometimes that the federal government, we don't do a good job. We have individuals sit on committees and we get talking points. We get all this information from information that's most times is misinformation. So the federal government needs to do more of a better job in engaging industry partners when they involve, when they come out of regulations. And so the regulation outlook needs to be revamped. And that comes from the Modernization Act that I'm going to impose for many government departments, and you all as well. And energy has to be energy producers. If it's based on exploration, if it's based on drilling, it's based on refinery, research, the whole entire scope has to be modernized. Whereas that we want to protect the environment, we want to make sure to protect our workers, we want to make sure that you are able to compete, not just here in the United States, but compete globally, because we want to make sure that our industry partners thrive and successful.
Okay. Well, Deddrick, thank you for taking the time to speak with us. Give us your thoughts on everything, the industry, and good luck with your race. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you. And like I said again, as you consider in whoever you elect, whatever district, and that goes down to local elections, elect someone who's focused on the people, that understand that people are not just constituents, also to industries and also to associations, and realize the fact that you have to get beyond rhetoric. Rhetoric is not going to improve your lives. Knowledge is power. Leadership leads, leadership listens.
So we're here with Nick Tran, who's running for the 8th Congressional District of Texas. He spoke here at the candidates event. He's going to tell us a little bit about why he's running and his thoughts on this industry. So, Nick, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
So, there might be some people out there who don't know who you are. Maybe some people do. A lot of people running for this spot.
Sure.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I came here as a Vietnam War refugee. I escaped Vietnam during the fall of Saigon. Came with just the clothes on my back. I didn't read about communism in a book. I lived it. Lost my country, lost my home, lost my mother to communism. And, I came out here stranded on a boat on 3 days without food and water, and was rescued by an American warship. And at 5 years old, that's when I met America. And I knew that I wanted to pay back this country for saving our lives and welcoming us open arms to the United States. And at 18, I did just that. I swore an oath, raised my right hand, and fought for us in 3 separate wars as an American soldier. And then 13 years in the service, got out, transitioned to oil and gas, worked for Schlumberger, built the #1 program to help veterans get off the street, hired veterans into the industry, helping women and children get interested in STEM and have degrees in oil and gas.
Well, personally, thank you for your service and for the work that you've done with veterans. Let me ask you a little bit about this industry. So obviously this is put on by Drillers PAC. This is a political action committee that is filled with drillers. So we want to know about your thoughts about oil and gas. And having worked for Schlumberger, now SLB, you probably have some pretty positive thoughts about where this industry fits in with the global landscape, what it does for this country. So you tell us a little about your thoughts.
Yeah, so oil and gas is one of the core values in my campaign. It's in my logo with the pump jack. Oil and gas is very important for America's energy independence, and believe this is something that I will strongly champion, along with the Second Amendment. Those are two things that are core to my campaign and running to put America first.
So if you're elected, what are some things that we'll be looking at in terms of areas that you can help this industry thrive?
When I'm elected, I will be championing oil and gas, making sure that we do what President Trump wants to do, which is drill, baby, drill. Open up leases, reduce restrictions, and allow us to continue to be the energy dominant provider for the world.
Love the confidence. Okay, when that happens. Okay.
Well, the campaign is a word that is derived from war, and I don't go to war looking to get in second place.
You don't go to war to lose. You go to war to win.
Second place doesn't go home.
So we're here with Barrett McNabb, who's running for the 38th Congressional District of Texas. He spoke at the candidates event here today, and we're going to talk a little bit more about why he's running and the things that he thinks about this industry. I'm sure they're all very good. So, Barrett, thank you so much for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. This was an absolutely fantastic event. When I got the email that said, would I like to participate, I said, absolutely. I made sure I cleared my schedule. Early voting is going on right now, so people are at the polls. But I knew I wanted to take time out of my day to be here, and I really appreciate you having me.
Well, we appreciate you being out here. So, obviously, there are a lot of people running for the 38th, a lot of people in the primary. So for those who might not know who you are, who are watching this right now, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. So I'm a retired Army officer. I'm a small business owner. I'm a Christian. I'm a father. I'm a husband. And I really like people to ask me some questions as I'm going from campaign event to campaign event. Why am I running? What makes me qualified? Do my values align with yours? And what problems am I going to solve? And I figure if I can answer those 4 questions, that I'll be able to earn people's vote. And one of the things on my background was, as a retired Army officer, I spent the majority of my time as a paratrooper in the 82nd Airborne Division. And a fun fact about paratroopers, they're designed to jump in behind enemy lines. They're designed to jump in and be surrounded by the enemy. They're designed to jump in and be surrounded by adversity. So and when elected and I jump up into Washington, D.C. in the swamp, that's exactly where I'm going to be, because I'm going to want to fight my way out.
Okay, so obviously we're, IADC is an organization of drilling contractors, Drillers PAC, which put on this event, political action committee that is comprised of drilling contractors, people who are into this industry. So we're going to want to know, with candidates who speak at these forums, what they think about the oil and gas industry. Obviously, being here, I'm sure that you see it as important. But tell us, what role do you think oil and gas plays to this country and the world at large?
Well, I mean, it is the heartbeat and is the lifeblood of modern society. The United States, and obviously I'm running to be a congressman here in Texas, it's truly the lifeblood. It makes everything go. Now, what we need to make sure that we have is a congressman that's up there that's going to provide consistency to the industry. Right now, we have Democrat legislation, or Democrat presidents that come in and with executive orders take away land leases. Republicans come in, land leases for permits are granted, and then a Democrat comes in and those permits are erased again. So being able to provide a consistent environment for the oil and gas industry to thrive is going to be super and critical, and we want to make sure that we get legislation that provides a long-term predictive analysis for this industry.
Well, predictability is a word that I think is music to this industry's ears, I would presume here. So you get into Congress, what are some action goals that you would think of in terms of helping this industry thrive? What are some things that you think Congress could be focusing on?
Yeah, so to go back to that consistency, so to make sure that we have legislation that regulates the EPA, to make sure that because after a rain there's a shallow puddle, and to declare it a wetland, and to prevent any oil and gas exploration on it. That kind of Mickey Mouse stuff has got to go away. We need to make sure that we're friendly with the oil and gas industry. I mean, we need to make sure that LNG production and exports flow literally unimpeded. The Biden administration signed executive actions to halt the exportation of LNG, and we need to make sure that we don't have anything like that happen again, because that's, again, the lifeblood for Texas. It's an economic boon to have that go. And right now, Europe in 2025 receives 65% of their energy by U.S. LNG, and so we need to make sure that continues.
Well, Barrett, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. We appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
From IADC headquarters, this is Stephen Whitfield. Thank you for visiting drillingcontractor.org.